I look back on my 20s, it is supposed to be the prime of your life, the most vital, the most beautiful. But you are making your critical decisions and sometimes your most critical mistakes. That was a quote by Anne Branches. If you are in your 20s, you are possibly making these money mistakes right now. And even if you are not in your 20s, there are a lot of lessons you can learn from this video. In this video, I'll be sharing with you 5 major money mistakes that I made in my 20s. But before I jump into it, make sure that you like this video and hit the subscribe button so that you can get notified whenever I release my next video. Let's get into it. The first money mistake I made in my 20s was not having a financial roadmap for the future. You need to understand that the best season of your life to have a financial roadmap for the rest of your life is when you are in your 20s. That is the best time to take some financial decisions to build a financial foundation for your future. But the irony of the matter is that your 20s is your most distracted season of your life. That is when most people are given to chasing girls, or girls are chasing boys, as the case may be. That is the time most people are given to alcohol, given to drugs, going to clubs, night parties, and all manners of negative influences. But you can avoid this mistake if you are still in your 20s now by sitting down to have a financial roadmap for your future. Sit down to map out what your 30s will look like, your 40s, and even your 50s will look like, what your career path will look like. If you are toeing the path of entrepreneurship, what business you will enter into, how you will invest your money. These are the things that you need to put in place in your 20s so that you can have a good ride in your 30s, 40s, and 50s. The number 2 mistake I made in my 20s was not building what I call money skills. Money making is a science and it can be learned. It is just a collection of skills like understanding the market, that is the forces of demand and supply, negotiation skills, sales and marketing skills, public speaking skills, you having an understanding of how to use OPM, other people's money, for financing, having some high income skills, which you can also call some digital skills. These are things that you need to learn in your 20s. You will agree with me that it is easier to learn these skills in your 20s compared to when you are in your 40s or in your 50s. That's why you see that people in their 20s, they find it easy with technology compared to people in their 40s. So if you're in your 20s now, I advise that this is the season you need to give yourself to money making skills. You need to build these skills so that by the time you are in your late 20s or you are in your early 30s, you can begin to exchange these skills for value in the market, which can help you to build lasting wealth. The number 3 mistake I made in my 20s was not investing early. This is one of the most common mistakes in Africa, especially in Nigeria. We often start things late, we get married late, we go to school late, we give birth to children late, and everything late. For example, I got an admission at the age of 21. A lot of people still say that I entered school very early then, but left to me, I believe that I entered school late at the age of 21. Before I could even pass JAMB, it was not a joking matter. Life is better now for many people in their 20s as they have access to money, opportunities online. There are a lot of opportunities to make money, especially online. When I was in my 20s, there were no opportunities like that. And that is why I'm of the opinion that if you're in your 20s now, there's nothing stopping you to start investing early. All you just need is to get an investment coach who can guide you, put you through, show you some investment that you can put your money into and start building your investment portfolio at that tender age. It is not a curse if you own properties in your 20s or you have investment in gold, investment in businesses, in stock, or other investment vehicles, but you need a coach, somebody who can hold you. And in your 20s, you just need to plan these things out. Put investment in place that can secure your 30s, your 40s, and even 50 and above. So that when you get to your 50, you have rest of mind, even though you are still going to continue to work, but at least you would have put things in place for yourself and for your children unborn. Let me say this at this junction, that there is nothing beautiful about starting anything late. There is nothing beautiful about it. I must be sincere with you. I started a lot of things late in my life, and I can beat my chest to tell you that there is nothing beautiful about starting anything late. And let me also say this, that betting is not investing, because a lot of people in their 20s put their money into betting. It is not investing that you are doing, it is gambling you are doing. You will do yourself a lot of good if you start investing in your 20, get a mentor, get a coach who can put you through, and make sure that you start your investing journey today. The number 4 money mistake that I made in my 20s was focusing on scholastic certification alone. A lot of people make this mistake in this part of the world. You know, in our 20s, we enter into the university or polytechnic or higher institution as it is called in Nigeria. The university or the higher institutions are not just places you go to just read books alone, which is what most of us know how to do best. I call this abuse of education. You know, the higher institutions of learning are places you go to network with other like-minded people. Because those people you see in the university with you, by the time you count the next 5 years, their lives are not going to be the same again. So if you're in your 20s and you are in the tertiary institution, it is the best time to build networks of people, deliberately joining relevant communities, because these communities, these networks of people that you have built deliberately, will bring fortunes your way. They can bring wealth your way outside of school. If your focus was just your books and your books alone, me and my books gang, it might be difficult for your books to deliver you on the day that it really matters. So I advise that in your 20s, now in the tertiary institution where you are now, deliberately build a network of people, join relevant communities. Don't let it just be about your books and your books alone. I understand that you went to school to read your books, but education is not just about books alone. You need to build networks of people. You need to understand that the money you need in your 30s, 40s, and even 50s and above is in people. The last money mistake I made in my 20s that I want to share with you is not cultivating the habit of savings. There's an adage in my local dialect that says that the first money that a child makes, he or she will use that money to buy bean cake. That was exactly my story, because in my 20s, when I was in school, I had access to money. I had a machine that was working for me, but as the money was coming, so was the money going. I didn't plan for savings and all of that. All I was just using money to do was to look good, to impress people who were not looking at me, which is quite unfortunate. And there's still a lot of people in their 20s now that what they use their money for is just to buy things to impress people who don't even really care about them. In that season of your life is when you need to save a lot. You need to save because primarily you don't yet have any responsibilities. So to say your school fees is being paid by your parents or your guardians, they are giving you pocket money as the case may be. So the money that you are making is supposed to be going into savings, and the savings is supposed to be converted into investment. So don't make that mistake of spending all your 20s without saving for your future. So I've shared with you in this video 5 major money mistakes that I made in my 20s. I believe that if you're in your 20s now, you can avoid any of these mistakes, or you can avoid all of them together. If you are making any of them, or if you are currently making all of them now, make sure that you learn from other people's example and you don't use yourself as an example. Thank you for watching. If you found this video useful, like, comment, especially if you're in your 20s and you are making any of the mistakes I've shared in this video, or you have made any of the mistakes I shared in this video and you have overcome it. I want to see your comment in the comment section. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel so that you can get notified when I release my next video. Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you in the next video.